Hey everybody, this is Abe Fuentes with BROKEYOUdotcom. I'm here today with Derik Farnsworth, IFBB Pro bodybuilder, nutrition expert for MMA fighters, boxers, wrestlers, ex-wrestling coach, also art, right?
Active release technique.
Active release technique, which is amazing. I had severe shoulder problems, impingements. Came in here for, what was it, like 6 minutes?
Yeah.
And I literally could not put my arm behind my back. Now it's folding back. I can actually touch the middle of my back. It really works. This guy is incredible. And we're here today to talk to him about what's going on in MMA, especially with nutrition. We've got a lot of fighters that are getting ready for fights, but they're dropping the weight incorrectly. They're waiting till the last minute. They're just trying to drop a bunch of water. And you've seen it in fights. They gas out. They don't have the energy. They make the weight. And we're going to show you guys today, through an example with this expert, how to do it in the long term. So Derik, thanks. We appreciate your time.
Nice having you guys. Thank you.
Give me an idea. You have a background in wrestling, obviously training professional bodybuilders to get ready for shows.
Yeah.
Now, you've also been working with MMA fighters and boxers. Yeah. What do you see as the right way to drop weight in order for them to keep their muscle mass, their strength, as well as make weight and have, all the energy they need for a fight?
Well, I used to wrestle myself, and the biggest thing I know is we never had nutrition way back then, like early 80s and everything. And what happened was, it always came down to the last minute, like he was talking about. And then all we talk about was cutting water. Well, the body's 70% water, so when you cut that, the body's going to be drained. And I noticed it takes 24 hours for them to get refilled back up. And you ever see it, they never get back to that full capacity. You asked them about 2 weeks ago, they felt great. But that one day of cutting their water is detrimental to themselves. There's no way you're going to recover that fast. And that one day, no matter how much you eat, like you said, they get diarrhea, they get bugs. You eat one food wrong, like say for me would be white potatoes, it'll bloat my belly. You have to know what you're putting in your body way ahead of time. So what we've done with bodybuilding with all those is you can't lose more than 2 pounds a week. It's just not strong for the body. It's okay healthy-wise, but in the long term, we'll try to perform like in sports that we do at high level. You cannot, after 2 pounds, you start to wear and tear on the body. You start getting, if it's deficiencies here and there. So rather than say crash in 2 weeks, if your event's 12 weeks out, we're going to start 12 weeks out. Hopefully you're about 15, 16 pounds away from your ideal weight. So if you figure we can drop 2 pounds a week, the last week cruise in. Because your water is going to be increased so that you can lose 2 or 3 pounds the night before by decreasing your water, not cutting your water. Say you're drinking 1.5 gallons a day, which I believe that those guys are, practicing 3 hours a day, the water they're drinking has to be that high. They probably don't even realize it. A lot of them are drinking Gatorades and all that, but that's empty calories. They think that that's going to keep them hydrated. All you're trying to do is keep your electrolyte balance up when you're wrestling, which is like a Propel would be calcium, magnesium, sodium. That's what keeps you from cramping. The Gatorade, that's all it is, but take out the sugars. Because you're wasting away 40, 50 grams of calories that you're trying to burn off when you're actually drinking them. So it's a better way of teaching them how to eat the right foods at the right times.
Okay, so that's like when I came to Derik about 1.5 years ago. Was thinking about really throwing my hat in the ring and trying to get my pro boxing card. Now I came to you because a little bit of background in nutrition, but I was telling you, man, I'm getting tired. I'm cutting the water. I was obviously cutting way too fast because 2 pounds a week I was not doing. Now, one thing that you told me was I can't wait till 5 weeks. I should have came and see you, what, 12, 16 weeks prior?
Even if you know you're going to compete at 12 weeks, come maybe 16 weeks and let's just talk and kind of get a game plan, because like you said, let's say he's right now, we talked about his weight, he's about 195, and his fighting weight is 170, so we're talking a good, 25 pounds over. So if he starts 12 weeks out, he's got me against the wall a little bit, right, to force his diet. I don't want him to have to worry about food. So I might tell him, let's start 16 weeks out, lose about 6, 7 pounds, bring him down, so as he goes into the fight, and you really, those last couple weeks you're banging it in the gym, you're really being trash, we want to make the diet the last thing you need to worry about.
So the first part is okay to drop a little bit more poundage.
Yeah, and you will drop a little more because your diet's it's not nailed down. You might be having those little cheats here and there, just by taking out certain sugars here and there, or empty calories we call them, like a Gatorade, or like the ones you might have went down the street and picked up. A regular soda is 50 grams of sugars. Little things like that. Just clean up the diet, get a little more wholesome foods in there, and you'll actually drop 6 or 7 pounds of water and say, okay, you're 195, now you're 189. Look at you. You already should be faster. And you'll start saying, you know what? I feel great. That little 6 pounds I lost, I may be heavier, so we want to come down stronger than ever, not as you get closer to the show, weaker. You should be getting stronger and stronger, and actually be able to eat more food, not less, because your body's going to be a freaking machine. The cardio you put in, everything gets better and better and better, not slower, slower, slower.
So that's a big difference than what a lot of these MMA fighters
they come
doing
down.
fighters. They're coming down way too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, by the end, they're dragging.
And they have no food.
And then they also have a risk of injury.
Yeah,
I would assume because as you get closer, you're beating your body down. You don't have the food in for energy.
You have no fats protecting your joints. You know.
And see, that's an important thing. People don't understand that. You do need those essential fats.
You need essential fats to protect your joints, which you can do it non-calorie wise. You can take EFAs, essential fatty acids, in a pill form, so you're not putting on that much weight. And it's calculated. You know, a lot of these guys, you guys know you have technique and you have, you know, you do everything a certain way. It's the same thing with the diet. It's like you'll eat 6-7 times a day. Your protein's here. It's not rocket science. You have to go, well, I don't know what to eat. It's laid out, you know, boom, boom, boom. Eat this at this time, eat this at this time. That's how you guys fight. You know you're going to run at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know you're going to do practice this time. You just put your meals in between. You know?
I think that's a problem a lot of fighters don't have. You know, it's easy to find, you know, jiu-jitsu black belt instructors are a dime a dozen nowadays. Kickboxing instructors, wrestlers.
Yep.
But to find someone that actually understands how the body works, the fuel. I mean, like you gave me an example before of a drag car, a dragster.
It's the high, very, you know, complex engine, you know. It goes from 0 to 60 in how fast, you know what I mean? 150 miles an hour sometimes, or whatever. So that one right there, is what's going in that body is so crucial, because one little thing wrong, and that engine could go. But as soon as an engine dies, which is like, I say you guys in a grappling thing, let's say they go 2 minutes. That's the dragster. You're going 100% for 2 minutes. And then when you're done, you leave the mat, your body's dying. It's like that. We need to put in, and we're going to talk about high glycemic versus low glycemic carbohydrates. High glycemic, we talk about like the dragster or a sprinter versus the low glycemic, which is like a marathon. They need type of food in a marathon guy. It's a type of food that goes very slow, long lasting. That's 26 miles for a marathon, where the sprinter runs 100 yards. So the type of glycemic levels we're going to put in is, I'm going to jack up the sprinter with a lot of high glycemic so that it keeps them hype. But the low glycemic needs to burn at a slower rate. So you need to know what type of glycemic carbs you take in. If you take a lot of high glycemic carbs in before a long duration of cardio, it's going to burn off in 20 minutes. You still got another 40 minutes to go in cardio. You take an oatmeal, which is a low glycemic, it's going to burn slower and get you through that whole hour of that way. And also, the amount of food you take in.
So with MMA, you got to have a combination of both.
Yep, it's like, you know, you might be going in, say, an hour, it's say 50% high glycemic, 50% low, which can even be putting honey in your oatmeal. The honey is very high glycemic. So that's going to give you a nice combination of what you do, but we try to cater to what the fighter wants. You know, if you're not a honey, I'm not a honey eater. But if you find sometimes you could put in, you know, raisins and fruit type of stuff that will jack it up with your type of food, because everyone's different. Like if you don't like a certain food that I like, we have to find what fits your body. Maybe, you know what, oatmeal is really bad for your belly. Or yams are very bad, and here's, you know, white potatoes. So it just finds, it has to be devised to you too. There's no diet set for one person.
See, this is me, because this is something that's new for me to learn as well, because I always thought, man, I got to limit my food. Now you're telling me at this point, if you're putting the right foods in, I can eat all day long. I can have plenty of energy. As I'm dropping weight, I'm actually feeling stronger. As I'm laying out, I'm getting lighter.
Yep, you're going to be a machine, and everything's going to be cut. You're going to like know when you go to the bathroom. It's a funny thing, but your body just gets in tune. You know what, everything is lined up, and it's, you know what, when you can trust it, you get more confident because everything's working. You know what, you're hitting those moves, your body's feeling great, you're making weight. What else is there to think about? Your confidence will be soaring because everything's falling into place, not, will I make weight? Will I feel this good in 2 weeks?
See, this is perfect. So you guys out there that want to learn more about Derik Farnsworth, now what is your website so we give it to them?
It's www.derikfarnsworth.com, DERIKFARNSWRTH.
And we're also going to be spotlighting Derik on our website, BROKEYOUdotcom. Come check it out. It'll be on Abe's Corner. And what we're going to do is we're probably going to be doing a weekly segment with Derik, as well as what you're going to see in the next session. He's going to go over his active release technique with me, and he's going to show you how, if you have injuries, how to prevent injuries, also how to, I mean, it's incredible. I walked out of here after 7 minutes of 6 months of pain, and I feel great. So that's it for us today. Derik, thanks again for your time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.